Yes. Working at a hospital absolutely increases the importance of having a reliable supply chain. So if a nurse calls you because they need something, they're not the ones using it, they need it for the child. So I would say just the kind of person I am, I feel responsible to make sure that there's a reliable supply chain. So we are a supply chain solution company for hospitals. Hospitals contract our company to come in and lean out waste within their supply chain, and we steal shamelessly from the Toyota production system of manufacturing. So we take a lot of their concepts, reducing waste, organization. So a lot of the concepts you'll find in the Toyota production system, BlueBin steals right from that and applies it to the medical supply field. So in a nutshell, it's my job to make sure that the nurses and doctors have the supplies to do their job. So you have an assembly line for cars, and what a lot of companies would do is they would just pump out as many cars as possible to increase production, which is called a push system. You push the product onto the customer. What Toyota does is they have a pull system. So until an item is actually ordered or they need to create that car, they don't make it until an order is sent through for it, which is a pull system. So what we do is we implement a pull system in the hospital setting. So rather than going up to these rooms and giving a nurse 1,000 needles that they don't need, we let them dictate how many that they need. If they say, I need 20, I'm going to give them 20, and I'll give them 20 every single day. And that's the customer pulling the supplies from us rather than us pushing the supplies onto them. So a couple of years after I graduated from college, I went down to the Motorola World Headquarters in Schaumburg, Illinois, and I took a Six Sigma Green Belt course to become Green Belt certified. I thought this would assist me in differentiating myself among other prospective employees. Also, my aunt is a consultant at Minneapolis Children's Hospital, and she was able to get me into a lean certification course specialized for healthcare suppliers. So with these unique certifications, I was actually hired for my first job in the supply chain by BlueBin. Labels. So this is a stock out. This is a stock out. See how it's the same, both bins. So when they go and scan those, it's going to register as a stock out. So that's how we flag it on the dashboard. So that would be considered a defect for us. So what they're going to do is they're going to take these bins, they're going to collect all these empty bins, they're going to bring them down to the warehouse, and then they're going to scan the barcodes. When they scan these barcodes, it shoots an order over to Medline. Medline picks the item, so Medline will say, I need 1 box of labels for this bin, 1 box of labels for this bin, so they'll go pick them, put them in a tote. The tote will get sent back here, probably 6 a.m. tomorrow, something like that, and then these bins stay overnight in the staging area, which I'll show you in a bit. So these bins will stay in the staging area. When the totes show up from Medline, they'll pull the items out of the totes, and they'll pull out their labels, they'll put the labels in here, and then they'll bring them back here and put them where they go. Alright, so now we're in the warehouse. This is where the bins come down to get scanned and filled. As you can see, we found our spa bins here. So these are the bins that need to go back to the supplier that were picked yesterday. So they pick the empty bins, bring them down here, fill them, and bring them back the next day. Yeah, we can, and I'll bring you down to where we scan them. So this is where we come to scan. Here's our scanner. So the bins come down here. They come down to the staging area. Every single room, it's a little cramped, so I apologize. Every single room has its own space in the staging area. So ASC Spa, the room that I just showed you guys, this is their space in the staging area. So all their bins come down here. They go right in this area. We take our scanner and we scan the back of the barcode. That's when the order goes through the med line and then the product shows up. Oh, we didn't talk about this yesterday, but there's some items that are too big to fit into bins. Something like this. If an area needs 20 of these, I don't have a bin that I can put that in. So what we do is we put on the rack and we run on these yellow cards. So this barcode you're seeing on a yellow card is the exact same barcode you see on the back of a bin. So something like crutches, we can't fit crutches in there. So we put it up there and then we hang a little yellow card and that works with our barcode essentially. So you always scan the cards first. Scan the cards, then scan the bins. When they get those bins and bring them back down to the staging area, they'll line up all their bins here. And then you should see I've got 2 of the same bin. We only have 2 bins in there, so I already know that's a stock out. I take these and I put them up top, and then what you're supposed to do immediately, grab one, fill it, bring it back down. So I scanned my bins, I identified a stock out. What that's going to do is immediately print my picked ticket. This is the ERP that they use. And it has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different functions. The ones that they use for supply, like when I was scanning the bins, we automate the scanners to fill in the fields. So we build into our barcodes tabs to the next line, quantities, etc. So when we scan it, we make it as hands-free as possible. So you can just scan right down the line and it'll fill in all the fields. When you hit release requisition, it'll go right to this printer, and then that's where we get our pick sheets from. On their pick sheet, they might have anywhere from 1 to 100 lines, and then they actually go and pick the items from the warehouse if they're not coming low unit of measure.
Medline does, or Medline does.
They pick most of it, but as you can see, they keep a lot of back stock here.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll fill it from here if they've got the stock, and sometimes they'll wait for the Medline totes to show up. Yeah, but this is stuff I built. So this is what the nurses need to know. If they want to make changes to their area, they fill out one of these request forms here. So this has all the directions that clinical staff needs to run the BlueBin system. It says what you do, what you don't do, what you do if you want to make a change. And then the other thing we do is we itemize all of our items. So if a nurse is looking for a Maricel packing 8 centimeter, they know it's on this one.
I was wondering.
And the other thing we do is we give them indexes, and it is alphabetized. So if you're looking for a microscope loop blue, you go to rack 17, row A. You go to rack 17, row A.